It's another great day to be in Saskatchewan. We started this campaign presenting a choice to the people that live in this great province, and I believe that choice is clearer today than it was even 3 weeks ago. The choice for Saskatchewan voters tomorrow when the polls open is this: a Saskatchewan Party who wants to leave more money in your pocket for you to spend, or an NDP who wants to take more money out of your pocket so that they can spend it for you. Almost 3/4 of the Saskatchewan Party's commitments are tax reductions or credits, which means that you'll have more of your own money that will be left in your own pocket. The NDP's multi-billion-dollar promises are all about increasing government spending. The Saskatchewan Party wants to grow the economy. The NDP wants to grow government. So you have a choice starting tomorrow between the Saskatchewan Party, who has stood against the Trudeau NDP carbon tax since day one, or the NDP who support that Trudeau carbon tax. Between the Saskatchewan Party, who want to give a hand up to those by offering recovery spaces to those that are facing addictions, or the NDP who literally want to hand out drugs. It's a choice between the Saskatchewan Party, who is hiring more police officers to keep you and your family safe in your community, or the NDP who will cut those very police officers and offer to buy you a doorbell camera. Between the Saskatchewan Party that has a record of hiring doctors and nurses, or the NDP Party who has a record of firing those very doctors and nurses. Between the Saskatchewan Party that has kept our young people right here at home in our province, or the NDP who literally drove them away. Between the Saskatchewan Party that is building hospitals, building schools, and building highways, or the NDP that closed schools, closed hospitals, and told people to go out and fix their own highways. Our plan will keep our economy strong and our future so very bright, while the NDP platform will take us back to a time of decline, loss, and closure. That's the choice that Saskatchewan people have. And you can make that choice beginning tomorrow. And I'm sure you're aware that there was an election this past Saturday in British Columbia, and there are lessons to be learned from that election for each of us. One, I would say, there is an advantage to voting early. British Columbia saw torrential rain and flooding on their election day, and weather that undoubtedly prevented a number of people from being able to get to the polls and cast their vote. So when you get a minute, I would encourage you to pop over to a polling station and vote. Don't wait until next Monday. The full voting week begins tomorrow or Tuesday of this week and will run right through until Saturday. You can save time and you can avoid those election day lineups that are there, and it's convenient. That's the first one, is to vote early. First point and the first takeaway from the British Columbia election. The second would be this: each and every vote counts. There are many undecided constituencies in British Columbia even today. In fact, the tightest race has a margin of 23 votes. The NDP currently is in the lead by 1 seat, and that's just how close each and every election can be. So your vote matters, every vote matters, so make your vote count and cast it early. The third takeaway from the British Columbia election is don't be a vote splitter. Splitting the vote only helps the NDP, and we saw that after the British Columbia vote on Saturday, in at least 2 constituencies that are leading today by the NDP due to vote splitting. In Saskatchewan, there are only 2 parties that can form government. Voting for another party is only going to allow the NDP to win. It happened before in elections in this province, and most recently in the Alberta election in 2015. And it's true that a united NDP minority can always beat a divided majority. And for far too long in the province of Saskatchewan, that was the case. Let's not do that again, because we know how it ends. It does not end well for the people of Saskatchewan, and it does not end well for the economy in Saskatchewan. We want to ensure that this great province has a brighter future. And we want to be able to implement the plan that we have put before you to keep Saskatchewan the most affordable place in the nation of Canada to live. And in order to do that, we need strong Saskatchewan Party MLAs to form our caucus. MLAs like Terry Jensen and Jamie Martens. So starting tomorrow, I would say make your voice heard. Make your vote count. Vote early. Don't be a vote splitter. Vote for Saskatchewan and vote for a strong economy and a bright future. Vote for your Saskatchewan Party candidate. Any questions? Terry will take them.
Wondering how your party is addressing Indigenous issues this election.
When it comes to Indigenous engagement, reconciliation, economic reconciliation, or the work that we do as a province to ensure that that bright future is benefiting and providing opportunity for everyone, whether you are an Indigenous Canadian, whether you are like me, a Canadian where our family has been here for a number of generations, or whether you are a first-generation Canadian, it's imperative that a government is focused on the opportunities that are coming to our province and to our communities, that everyone has an opportunity to benefit with that. What we have done, and I would say most notably, you've seen this happen, is ensure that when there are investments that are being made in our province, whether it be in the mining sector, whether it be in the gaming sector, whether it be in the retail sector, that we work and encourage the folks that are making that investment to work with Indigenous communities and Indigenous people. The over $500 million investment that you saw into the forestry industry in Prince Albert just recently, prior to the RIT starting, has a number of Indigenous partners in that very investment, that OSB plant that is invested there. You see the mining sector with the players that are making investments in the mining sector that have, very higher than what our population percentage is, Indigenous procurement targets, and they are meeting them in the potash sector and in the uranium mining sector as well. And so the opportunities in the way of economic opportunities, we are doing better in this province each and every day, but I acknowledge that we have more work to do. And so it's about everyone coming to the table on whatever the topic or opportunity might be. Gaming, the online gaming platform is being operated by SIGA. I think Chief Bobby Cameron had said, and I quote, that this is economic reconciliation at its finest. That's true, but it's important to bring our Indigenous leaders and Indigenous people to the table to have those discussions so that they can share in the opportunities that are there. When it comes to offering services in our communities, I would point no further to, we all need health care. Whether you live in I'll use my constituency as an example, whether you live in the community where I live in Shellbrook or nearby Mississauga or Takakoo, or Saskatoon. And when you look at the urgent care center and what it's doing in providing services in Regina and alleviating, not eliminating, but alleviating some of the pressures in the Regina Pasqua emergency rooms as well as the Regina General, we can only look to that type of success with the urgent care center that's being built here in Saskatoon. I would say that this is a little bit more unique than what's happening in Regina. Regina is run by the Saskatchewan Health Authority. In Saskatoon, the building is actually going to be built by Takakoo Cree Developments in a unique partnership where we are going to mirror the services in Saskatoon, alleviate some of those pressures in our emergency rooms in Saskatoon, but also bring in, through the Indigenous partnership with the Takakoo Cree Developments and the Takakoo Cree Nation and others, SIT, so that we are training our students to work not only in that urgent care center, but throughout the Saskatchewan Health Authority as well. And so, really an opportunity when you bring everyone to the table, both ways, to ensure that, the economic successes that we're seeing in the province are there for everyone to benefit, but also the services that are being invested in by the provincial government at the very least, which is our domain, or has been our domain, to ensure that we are including everyone in delivering those services as well. And those are a couple examples, but I think the important takeaway is to always have the conversation on, how can we work together to ensure that we're benefiting everyone that lives here in the province, whether you be Indigenous or non-Indigenous.
From my colleague Alex Salam, the change room policy. What does this policy look like, and how do you enforce that policy?
Listen, this is not a topic or a policy that I brought up. I answered a question at a media avail in Regina, and I answered that question very specifically with respect to what the policy of the Saskatchewan Party is. It's a policy that is grounded in the fact that we will endeavor to support each and every student in each and every classroom, in each and every school, in every community across this province. I never once spoke to any of the individuals, nor will I, nor should anyone. And with respect to the policy, I answered a question that was brought by the media, and I was very, very clear. And I don't feel I have any further comment that is necessary with respect to that. If you want to know, more about what parents feel, and I encourage you to do so, you'll have to ask them. if you want to know what the NDP's policy is, you'll have to ask them the same question as well. I have no further comment. I've been clear in answering the question that was asked of me on what the Saskatchewan Party policy is, and it's one that most certainly is focused on supporting all students, each and every student in all classrooms across this province.
It's not on the policy, but when and how did you hear about this incident in Balgonie, and what did you hear?
Heard from when I was asked the question in the media avail. Is you know.
That was the first time you heard it?
There, you know, I it was maybe a day before that we'd had, there was some discussion that had come through our room, but the timelines are what they are. I was asked the question. We're a party, and myself are vying for public office, and we answered that question as clearly as we can, and I think it can't be any more clear with respect to the policy that this party has, and the fact that it's a policy that is rooted in supporting all children in every classroom, in every school, in every community across this province. There's another party that's running in this election, and then they should be asked the same question.
It's been implied that the Sask Party had been part in leaking into that the NDP candidate and his kids were involved in the change room situation in Melgonia. Is that correct?
No. I had said it each and every time that I've been asked that this should not be a discussion about people. I said that the first time. I've said it every time I've asked, and I won't be part of discussing any individuals involved in this. What happened is I was asked a question from the media gallery, and I was very clear on what the policy of this party was. And I think any party or candidate that's vying for public office for any other party should be just as clear with what their party policy is.
So you don't know the children that was involved in this complaint?
No.
And also, what I'm hearing from you is that you're not as confident as the last election, maybe to win, because you're talking about the splitting votes, the close contest in certain constituency. What's up in your mind this October 28th? Are you that confident?
Listen, we live in we live in a great place in Saskatchewan and Canada. You know, just this past year we celebrated 80 years, the 80-year anniversary of D-Day. That was the end of a war that was fought so that we have the right to vote in Canada and the right to vote in Saskatchewan, whether it be in our provincial election, a municipal election, or a school division election. And I would ask Saskatchewan residents and family members to take that right very seriously, and to look at the candidate and the party that you're voting for and the policies that they have, and whether they best reflect your views, and also whether that party is going to ensure that the next 4 years they are going to lay the groundwork for an opportunity for that next generation, for our children. The right that we have to vote is a right that people have fought for and many have lost their lives for, and we should not take it for granted in any way. And we have a voting week, not a voting day, that starts tomorrow, and I would encourage people to avoid the lineups, conveniently pop out at one point this week and exercise the democratic right that we so graciously have in this province.
And what is your response to the NDP claims that your own team members do not support your record on education? The NDP says it has leaked audio from January in which your MLA said you have been, quote, disrespectful to teachers.
Who said that? I have no.
There's a press conference at 11 a.m.
Listen, the NDP have put forward a whole platform that has $3 billion in uncosted spending. So I don't know the comments, so I can't really comment on it. And coming from the NDP, I'd be very suspicious of the source.
That's an audio leak, so.
Pardon me?
It's an audio leak that they will share later today. So.
Well, let them share it. They'll. We're not focused on the NDP. We're focused on the voters in this province and the people in this province, and focused on ensuring that we're leaving more money for them to spend over the course of the next 4 years if we have the honor to form government for them. The NDP can focus on whatever leak it is or whatever word that they've tried to record of somebody. That's fine. They can play that type of politics. We're going to focus on ensuring that we are setting the groundwork for a better, more affordable life for Saskatchewan families, and providing more opportunity for that next generation to actually live here in the province. It's very, very different platform and record than the decline, loss, and closure that the NDP have traditionally provided, not only in this province but in other provinces as well.
In which area did you struggle the most over the past few years as Premier, and how are you willing to improve yourself if re-elected?
Well, I think whether you're in a position that I've been in or whatever position you might be in your community or in your family, without a doubt, the last half a dozen years or so, the largest challenge has been facing a global pandemic. And that's no different for me than it is for anyone else. You know, it changed everything that we did for a period of time, and we always made the best decisions, or what we felt were the best decisions given the information that we had as we found our way through what was an extremely challenging time, not just for folks like myself that were serving in government, but for, you know, every family in going to work each and every day and raising their children and getting their children to school and you know, all of the things that we went through. And you know, and I pray each and every day that no future society is going to have to, you know, face a challenge like that, because it's hard on people. And it's hard on our children and our teenagers and our young adults that are the leaders of tomorrow. And so over the last number of years, that certainly has been, I think, the largest challenge that myself has faced. And I think, in fairness, many would share. And we may, you know, disagree on, you know, a number of conversations throughout that, but it certainly was the largest challenge. With respect to where, you know, the province is more broadly, we've come out of that, you know, leading the nation on virtually every metric, whether it be, you know, per capita job growth, whether it be investment attraction, private sector investment attraction into the mining sector, the oil and gas sector, the ag value added sector, whether it be the export numbers, you know, how we're creating wealth in our province. You know, our export numbers were $17 billion in 2007. They're $50 billion last year, $50 billion a year before. And we've over tripled the export value, which is really the wealth in our community. If you aren't working directly in the export related market, you're likely servicing someone that is selling vehicles to you know, a farmer that is exporting to over 160 countries around the world, providing that food security for that global food security for so many accountants, lawyers. Everything that we do in our communities can be really sourced back to the wealth of our exports, and it's tripled over the last decade and a half. And the most exciting thing is the rate of growth today is leading the nation. And so, you know, from an opportunity and looking ahead in our province, whether it be the traditional, you know, mining sector, uranium, potash, we see copper mining coming on, or whether it be looking to the future with the rare earth elements and helium and lithium and those types of things, whether it be in the oil and gas production, the energy production as well, which would include, I would put uranium in that space, or whether it be actually a province today that isn't just producing raw agricultural food products, but now we are producing ingredients like canola oil at increasingly large levels, protein fractionation in our pulse crops. We're sending protein as opposed to just the raw product. All of that's creating jobs here at home and providing for an opportunity for our children to stay here. It's when we look ahead, you can be so excited in this province that our children and that next generation, the age of most of you that are asking these questions, not me, you have such opportunity to look forward to, and we just haven't always had that opportunity in this province, and we are in such a better place, and we want that to continue into the future. And that's why we have put forward a platform that is going to ensure that we can still continue to attract that investment, create those jobs, create that opportunity, and all the while make sure and do all we can to increase the affordability that Saskatchewan families have. Today, we're already the most affordable place in the nation to live. We want that to continue into the future.
One more question. According to recent polls, this election is going to be particularly tight between the NDP and the Sask Party. So, polls will open tomorrow. How confident are you that you're going to be re-elected?
Well, the confidence isn't really the question. We're going to do everything we can to you know, find our way out, whether it be in Martensville or Warman or any constituency of the 61 constituencies across the province, to you know, get out and talk to people about the importance of voting and the difference between the plans that we have. A plan that is you know, ensuring that we have that strong economy and that bright future. Our plan and a record of the NDP, which is one of decline, loss, and closures, and in some cases not answering questions with respect to what their policies are. And so, you know, that's what our focus is, to work hard in the lead up to the election. We have voting week, which will start tomorrow, and we will be on the doorsteps, tens of thousands of doorsteps today and starting tomorrow to encourage each and every Saskatchewan resident of the importance to go out and vote, how it determines our relative opportunities and our children's opportunities into the future. And so tens of thousands of people can expect that so there's going to be a Saskatchewan Party candidate or volunteer on there, or encouraging them to exercise the right that that was afforded to us through, as I said, through you know, that 80-year celebration that we had of D-Day just this past summer. Those are the folks that fought for our right to vote. We're going to go out and ask people to exercise that right.
Thanks, everyone.